Okay.
Hello everyone, you're welcome to another exciting episode or edition of Oche Kitchen Discussions. And today, as you already know, it is child labor then and now. Child labor refers to the exploitation of children through any form of work that deprives children of their childhood, interferes with their ability to attend regular school, and is mentally, physically, socially, and morally harmful. Such exploitation is prohibited by legislation worldwide. Okay, so before I go to the very first question for the day, I'm going to take my CLO moment. And it says, green flags for people in your life. Yeah. Number one, their presence is calming. Number two, they respect your opinion. Number three, they make you laugh. This one is my favorite. As long as you make me laugh. Number four, they listen without judgment.
That's right.
Five, yes. They are very supportive. Number six, they respect your needs. Number seven, they honor your boundaries. Number eight, they make an effort. One effort is enough. Let them just make that.
I'm telling you.
And finally, they make you feel valued. Effort is enough. Let them just make that.
I'm telling you. And make you feel needed. They need you.
So that's it. I'm jumping right in. My very first question for tonight is, what do you think about child labor globally, including kids being used as house helps in Nigeria? Fred, can you take that for me?
I'll just give an attempt. I'll just try. And hopefully...
Hi, Fred. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So if I heard you right, said what's my take on child labor globally and the concept of young girls or young children being used as house made help. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I find it very difficult to define child labor myself. And when you were defining it, you use words like exploitation, depriving one's childhood and infancy, or having a mental, social, and one of the things that you did mention. And why I'm saying this, I find it a bit difficult is that things have changed. Things have really changed now. So you're having somebody who's a child, and it's now a YouTuber, and it's making mad money. I don't hear that being called a child labor. But once you are from I don't want to use certain words, once from a certain part of the world, and you are rather battling poverty, and you have no option but to say be on the street to sell.
Mm.
So this one is not selling digitally. This one is selling an actual thing and it's in the sun. So for me, even though you have read the definition, I found that the definition itself and then what is happening very conflicting, to be honest with you. So yeah, what do I think about it? For me, it's really a dicey one, and it depends on who's defining what child labor is. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So based on the fact, like you've painted the scenario now, and the topic is child labor then and now. Okay. This YouTuber of yours definitely will be making that money for himself.
Exactly.
And most times they are enjoying what they're doing. Not because they were compelled to, not because that they found themselves in that situation. Many YouTubers today were not even influenced by their parents. They took it up themselves.
Exactly.
The child labor, most of the times, were imposed on these people. Okay. And if you are on YouTube having fun and making money, nobody is laboring you. So I'm asking based on what we know as child labor, but I'm happy that you brought up this aspect of the current situation. But I'm asking based on what we know being child labor, you have people who have helps. At least I know some adults my age or a bit older who would first of all go to hawk things in the mornings before they are able to go to school. Okay. And I also know people who, the moment they have a child, they employ another child to come help take care of the baby. It is in that perspective that I'm asking. So I want you to still tell me your take on that.
And at times, kids are sold into slavery to go do menial jobs and everything. They come and lie to the parents and take them and so.
Yeah, and you have this cheap labor of a thing, mostly in China, where they employ very young people. On the average, they are meant to earn maybe $10 per hour, and they end up paying these kids $1 per hour. That's a form of child labor. So, Fred, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, so can you take that for me again? What's your take on that kind of labor?
I still won't lie to you. I still find it very difficult. I'm serious. I still won't lie to you because you still gave the scenario that with a YouTuber, the person is doing what he likes. And I would agree with you in some instances. And the further even went on to say that their parents don't push them. And I disagree with you. I would still disagree with you on that. Usually a child starts something, YouTube to say, TikToker. The parents will go, okay, oh, you're wasting your time, blah, 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 and everything. And here in Nigeria, for example, I can give you an instance where a TikToker is making over $800, $1,000 a month. Okay, how many times the person posts or get the views? I will tell you, I'll show you that that's a time that parents also get interested as well. Oh, so this is actually viable. So it's still kind of gray area for me, and that is my take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. From that perspective, yes, I agree with you that by the time the child starts making money, the parents are excited and they become interested. So it's also a form of child labor, yeah?
Well, as I said, it depends on who's defining.
You don't want to call it child labor.
Oche, can I say something on this?
Sure.
Backing what Fred is trying to say, and in reference to what you mentioned, where corporations or people like corporations, yes, who are manufacturing, will go to countries where they get cheap labor, and in those countries, they use people, younger people, to do, well, it's most common with them fabrics, dealing with fashion and all whatnot. Yes, that's an unethical way of managing, of running a business, right? And the same thing applies to when adults are behind the very young children or these minors who are YouTubers, who are equally making money. So somebody's supporting them, but we think it, and we believe, just like you said, that if they're enjoying what they're doing, it's acceptable. Those young children who are doing tailoring, who rush and do the button and do this zip and do all of that, they're equally enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah, but that they're enjoying it doesn't mean they're not being used.
Yes, I know. It's just that it depends on where and the situation today. Similar thing happens, but we're finding it acceptable because we're trying to convince ourselves that it's happening differently.
Okay, let me come in here. Oje's question was in Nigeria, right? Okay, so the difference between both things is that I'm a mother. I have 5 kids, however kids I have. I can't take care of my kids. And OJ is in Abuja. OJ is looking for a maid. My daughter, my 10-year-old daughter, I haven't seen a 10-year-old daughter who wants to leave her parents to go live with somebody else. They said to the 10-year-old, oh, you're gonna, okay, maybe the lady, I came for Christmas, or OJ came for Christmas, or there was a, however, anyway, I get to send my 10-year-old, and OJ has an 8-year-old child. Or a 10-year-old child, I get to send to live with OJ, to take care of my mate, 10-year-old child. I'll wash her clothes, I'll feed her, I'll clean her, you know what I mean? She'll go to school. At times, these kids don't even go to school.
Exactly.
At times, they don't even send these kids to school for like a week. At times, they don't even send the kids to school for like a year or two before they'll say, okay, she can stay with me, then they'll send her to school. Meanwhile, your child is in school, upgrading every year. So that is what child labor is. That I have a 15-year-old, my kids, once they turn 10-year-old, we buy them a phone. I'm not always with them, you know what I mean? So that they're on TikTok, I follow to know what they're doing. I want to know, I follow them on this social media, but it doesn't mean that, like we mentioned a couple weeks ago, at times we follow our kids, but they put us on they block us from seeing certain things, you know what I mean? So you can even know that your kids are on TikTok, but you don't know that they're making money. Most times the kids might come to you when they start making money, because many people can be on TikTok and not make money. They might come to you when they start getting paid, because as a minor, you need your a parent's signature to open accounts. Maybe that's when, the child might come to you and say, hey, ma, TikTok is about to start paying me. I need to open an account. And maybe that's when, so it's two different things when I'm forced to go do something that I'm not capable of. And most times these kids get treated badly. Like OJ said, they pay them $1 instead of, $10. And then, so there are two, we have to separate the two. Yeah, there are two. And I think to answer your question, I think it's about poverty, because I don't see any parents, that's okay up here, that is financially stable, sending their kids out, apart from sending them out for schools and stuff like that. So I think it has to do with poverty.
Yeah.
Poverty,
When I was explaining about child labor, I also made mention of the fact that it is prohibited.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I do not think that making money off any social media platform is prohibited. So I have difficulty putting them apart. Okay, that is Fred's opinion, but I would like to ask, I thought I saw Ike here. I'm trying to ask the men, because tomorrow now they'll say we are the ones using the children. So let me hear from the men.
It's true, we are.
But it's true now.
Oh my God, Ike would say that.
Okay, so Ike.
For once, I agree with Ike. Yeah, because me and you agree. It is.
Okay, so Ike, what's your take? What do you think about child labor globally, including it being used as house helps in Nigeria?
Okay, see, for me, I think we should narrow it down, not just globally, we should narrow it down to Nigeria. When you talk about globally, child labor exists everywhere in the world. One word, the other. You might think I'm living in Canada, you might think child labor does not exist, but it does not exist to the extent that we publicly know about it. But there are instances where children have been trafficked, used in different ways. If you go to China, why is China economy booming? Because Thailand, all these Asian countries, because their labor is cheap. Why is their labor cheap? Because they use children, underage children, to produce most of the things you're wearing. Your wristwatch you're wearing, the wristwatch you're wearing most likely was made by a child. The necklace you're wearing, the clothes you're wearing, that may be made by a child. But I want to base my discussion more on what happens in Nigeria. And let me put it out here that, yes, I like what Ijoma said about child labor, especially when it relates to Nigeria. But let me say, it's poverty. number one, poverty. But secondly, it's not just by sending your child out to somebody. Some people, when all these children you see hawking in the street, their parents that don't.
Their parents.
Parents who send them out. It's not just strangers that send them out. It's the parents that send them out. And why did they send them out? Because of poverty. I was watching a clip where a mother had a daughter before she got married. So the guy saw the girl. The girl is picking wood somewhere, and he asked her, "Why are you not going to school?" She was like, "Oh, my parents don't have money." When he met the woman's children from the husband, they're all in school. But that particular girl, because he wasn't the man's biology, was kept home. She was the one who went to pick wood, pick bottles, pick whatever to sell, all those things. And the guy, volunteered to send her to school. And when the guy took up to volunteer, you know what the man said? The man said, the girl went to school, the man went and the husband of the woman went and brought her back, that the guy should come and take special permission from him before the girl can go to school. So, child labor.
This in Nigeria.
In Nigeria. And let's look at it. Look at the instances. So many instances of women I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. Women being wicked.
You still haven't told me what you think.
No, Ike, you know, at times when
I want to know your take.
Ike, at times when a woman has a child before she gets married, most times the guys give them an ultimatum. It's either you leave this child and come with me or not. I have a friend who the mom left her in Portugal in a convent for years because the husband said, you can't.
I know. But
it was after, so men at times say, okay, if this girl is coming to come, she's going to be our maid. You know what I mean? And the women, just for the fact that they want to be loved, they want to be married, they want to have that status of being married. You know what I mean? They will accept whatever conditions. So the effect of what the men do to us.
Title of the missus comes with
exactly, yeah.
With some form of madness.
Hold on. The point I'm trying to make is people are left with choices. If you choose to sacrifice your child's happiness on the altar of marriage, don't go and blame the man. You have a choice.
Okay, so at the end of the day, what is your take?
My take is,
you haven't told me.
Is there anybody there's no sensible person who encourage child labor?
Exactly.
Who is sensible that will say child labor is good? It's not a good thing. In any shape or form, it's not good. Every child.
These are growing children, yeah.
Yeah, every child has to have education, have to have a home, to be loved.
Loved,
yeah. That's what every child has. But we know that the reality is that it is not so, it is not possible because of poverty.
It's poverty.
Sometimes, most times, parents who send their children out at 10 years, I couldn't even imagine sending I can't even allow my kid who's 13 years to enter the bus. Talking about somebody sending their child at 8 years, 7 years, 6 years to go and be a servant in somebody. And most times, these people come and collect the children, tell them, oh, I'm going to put them in school, they will be whatever, and then when they take them there, they are slaves.
Slaves.
They are slaves. So it's not even child labor, it's worse than slavery. It is modern day slavery. And I think it's something that everybody who sees it, or if you have a child with you, who you've taken as somebody in your house, you should be able to treat that child the same way as you treat your own children. And if you're not doing that, that is child labor. You are really abusing that child.
Okay, sorry, Oche. Ike, based on what you've just said, if that child who's gone over to another family as a maid servant is treated fairly, does that take you away from child labor?
It does. Well, it depends on what now, if the child is at home and helping and doing chores like every other child in the house, it's not child labor.
Okay. So it's the treatment that would determine what it is.
Yeah, it's the reason, yeah. Like if you have a child come live with you, it's different, yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the treatment and the age. Any child below 16 that you deprive that privilege of being in school when his or her mates are in school, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's child labor, okay? And that is being maltreated.
But if that child is in school, goes to school in that other home where she's working, it's no longer child labor for you, Oche.
It is still child labor, depending on what you do to her when she comes back from school.
No, that's what Ifeoma is saying. If the child is treated good, like one of the kids at home, and then still goes to, because at times you take in family members' kids, yeah. So that won't be
adoption extended.
that one is
In my own view,
yeah.
in my own view, provided, because we're talking about the intention of that movement, provided a child has left their home, a minor has left their home for the purpose of serving in somebody's home, even if they're treated like prince or princesses, it is still child labor. Bottom line, it doesn't matter. This again, let me talk about Cross River State. At some point when Governor Donald Duke was there, he made it a rule that no family in that state must take their child
elsewhere
as a maid servant to any home elsewhere.
Yeah, because that was what they
I
were
don't know how they managed it.
That's
another thing. I don't have the information of how they monitored it. If they had welfare officers who checked on families to ensure that all children are accounted for.
When I come back, look at the time, so page will not be late. Okay.
Bobby, are you talking to us?
No, she's not talking to us.
Oh. So yeah. So what I'm saying is I don't know how he monitored it, but I hear from indigents and people who lived in that state that it works. That's why you could not get them anymore. So
it decreased.
I
think it decreased.
Yeah, I heard it's not happening at all unless you sneak your child out of the house. But again, provided the intention of you leaving your home to another family is to serve and be paid for, it is child labor. It doesn't matter how well you're being treated or how badly you're being treated. So the intent, it's a factor in this.
Mama, okay, that's it. Thank you. Let me ask the remaining part of my question, which Bros Ufoma will take for me briefly. It says, and knowing that it is prohibited by legislation worldwide, what can be done to make this prohibition more effective? Like you've given the example of the Cross River State government and what they did. What else can be done? Is Ufoma here? So I can take that for me. If not, can I ask Ataibo? Ataibo, good to see you.
Hello.
Hi, Ati.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
Okay, so what do you think?
Good evening, everybody. I'm with you, but probably not on video because I'm taking a haircut at Bobby's salon.
Okay. Okay, thank you for joining all the same.
Okay.
Okay, so Ataibo, go ahead. He's getting a haircut. Let him to do not enter his mouth.
You're mute.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't start from the beginning. What was the question? No vex.
Okay, it's about child labor.
Okay.
And the fact that it is prohibited. Okay, people have given their different views on it. And my question is, knowing that it is prohibited by legislation worldwide, what can be done to make this prohibition more effective?
And force women not to have, or parents not to have more than 2 children, or children they can afford to look after.
Like China did, yeah.
If you can't look after your children, because then, it's because they can't look after the children, so they're giving them out as slaves to people. Make it mandatory that you have, what, in fact, every time you get pregnant, they look at your income. If your income doesn't balance with diapers and nursery fees and whatever, you have to do something about that baby before it comes to the world.
But you have to pay money to do something about it.
China did it. China did it.
They will find somewhere to do. There's always something to do. Because I don't think it's right for you to have children that you can't look after and then give them to people, sell them out to people. And because you don't care about them, you sell them out to people and you don't care what you do to them. I just think it's just not right, you know. So I think you start from the roots, you know. Every time, I don't know. I suppose everybody's talking about what do they call it? Contraception now, both men and women. Maybe that will help. I don't know. So maybe we have to start from the grassroots.
I feel it's a brilliant idea. Apart from asking the government to do something, individuals should also do something.
Take responsibility.
Yeah, my time is up. Perhaps take it away.
All right, hi everybody. Welcome to the show. The nutri tip for today is for vegetarians. So the iron you get from plant foods includes bananas, green plantains, the avocado pears, the greens, the ugu that we all know in Nigeria, the beets, the potatoes, which is the Irish potato, the spinach, the coconuts, the collard greens, and so forth. So if you're a vegetarian and you have low, because most times vegetarians have low iron. So these are the foods that you can eat more to get your iron. And the second question of the day is, should the government or parents be blamed for the fallout of child labor due to poverty? Benson, can you take that for me?
Well, like you said, I think both should be blamed, the government, the parents, because if, like in Nigeria, I think we're centering this on Nigeria. Like if when someone is working in Nigeria, maybe in one of the ministries, and he's expected to be paid at the end of every month, and at the end of every month he's not being paid, government is still contributing to why they send out their kids for this child labor. In as far as I don't encourage, I don't encourage it. I don't support it anyway, because I can't imagine seeing my kids on the street because of the hazards you have for kids on the streets or anything child labor. Like we all have been saying, people maltreat children that are not theirs, but I think that's inhuman. The way you treat your own child, you're supposed to treat the next child the same way. If I can't send my child to go hawk on the street or to do anything, I don't think I can send any other child to do same. But like I said, both parents should be blamed. Both parents should be blamed. The government should be blamed. Like I Taibo said, but I don't know. The one of either saying they should have 2 kids. Well, that's not the culture of the Igbo man saying 2 kids, because I know those days they have multiple kids because of how big they want their young bands to be, how big they want them to be. So the only thing is that, but with modern things now, everything is being like, they have NAPTIB in Nigeria, which is against child labor and so on. But these things are still being done underground.
Yeah.
Because somebody,
go ahead.
Because somebody might be like, okay, since I know Ifoma, and I think Ifoma can take good care of my son or daughter, I'll just secretly send send my daughter to Ifoma to stay with, but not knowing what that goes underground. So I think both parties should be blamed, because if things are well structured back home, I don't think more of that will be there. Okay, like over here, once you have a child, the government tends to come in to say, okay, you don't have a house, they give you a house, they give the child a food stamp every month. So if we have such back home, I don't think people will be going to send their kids to child labor. I think that's both.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. To piggyback on what you just said, I think, like you said, the structure, the most important thing. So I'll blame the government 70% here, because if any child that moves into a neighborhood, the government should know about. Like here, before a child starts kindergarten, if you have like a 5 to 6 year old child, the government, you get a letter in the mail that your child is, it's in, like, your child is placed in this school. You know what I mean? That this is the days to come and register your child and blah, blah, blah. Unless you want to send your child to like a private school or something. We don't even have that in Nigeria. So I think, for me, I think.
Are you sure they don't have it?
No, the Nigerian, nobody knows who is renting. Nobody knows who is renting your house or my house. No, there's no census bureau that says this number of families, this number of kids live in number 22 at Adekunle Street. They don't know that. They don't know that. They don't know that. If they know, every child will be in school. If they know, every child will be in school. But because they don't know, and most children are not in school, and when they see children that are not in school, there's not even, where are you going to report? To the police? You can't report. Like here, what's your neighbor? Because I had a family member that it happened. They brought her from Nigeria to America, kept her, she was baby. She's a young girl, kept her here. It was a neighbor that found out that there was a child in this house that wasn't going to school. That's how. And by the time this girl came back, her mates were in secondary school and she started primary school. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah. After Ike, after you, Bobby can go because Bobby raised her hand. Go ahead, Ike.
I want to pick back on what Ataibo said. We can blame government all we want, but I want to say this, and I agree with Ataibo. Parents are responsible for the initial aspect. I have a cousin. Every year I go home, he presents, he's so proud to tell me that he has a child. Every year. By the time the 7th year came around, he has 7 children every year.
I know that, yeah. Because they tell you, not God gives children. That's what they say.
Believes that you are going to train his children. He has no plans.
But Ike, who will give that rule? Who will make that rule? It's the government.
But the point there is this: the government can make the rule. Who's going to enforce the rule?
China did it. China did it for over 20 years. Nobody could have more than one child. China did it. They just started having 2 kids now. China did it.
It's a totalitarian society. It's a place where if you don't do whatever you have said, Nigeria is a lawless society. You don't follow the laws. You don't even follow traffic rules. Talk less of telling somebody not to have children.
And people can have the babies in their bedroom and not tell you about it.
Nobody will know. Even the ones that
Safely.
have, you are saying now that we don't have any sense of anything, which is true.
It's the structure. It's the government. Yeah.
Local midwives. Okay, so you mean in your village?
No, I said 70%. I said I'll give government 70% of the blame. I didn't give them 100%. I said 70%.
Have what you can train.
We all know that. Yeah. No argument about that.
You know, and that's what of course people do. They have the children thinking, oh, I have.
But Ike, you know, they don't know better. They don't know that. They don't know that. That's where education comes in, awareness comes in, and this is the duty of the government to make people aware, tell them, you know what I mean. You can't do this. You can't do this. Most people don't know. They are just like you said, having kids, saying not
leave that they don't know. Is the man uses his wife as recreational activity every night?
Because most times they don't have work. Most times the wife is not working, the woman is not working. All they have is banana and
no. That fosters good relationship in every marriage. So why are people complaining? It fosters good relationship.
Good relationship in the marriage. We're not against that. Have it, but do family planning.
Do family planning, yeah. That's where government comes in.
Well, I think maybe on that aspect of either having more than 3, 4, 5, they will always tell you, you don't know the one that will be the exit.
And you can have 7 and none of them. You can have 7 and none of them.
They are all relative. They are all relative. It depends.
So you can have 10 and one will be the president one day. Like you have 2.
All right, let me go to Bobby.
And again, sorry, before Bobby. And again, why they have that is we are always scared of having either 1 or 2 because of mishaps.
I get that.
Yeah, that's just the problem. Because if we were talking about China, they gave orders and so on. See, all those people that maybe started having one kids, all of them are in the same passing generation. So that's why you see they now allow them to have 2. At least there will be differences because the whole people.
Yeah, because now they maintain
on the same age.
Whatever they wanted to maintain.
Same age, so their labor force will drop. They know what they are doing.
It's all about, of course, it's all about planning. All right, Bobby, go ahead. Bobby, are you there?
Okay, I'm here. My intake is this, right? Like, I agree with the second speaker who stated that it's not all about government. Parents has a lot to do with this child labor. For instance, here in America provides almost everything for the less privileged. Then here comes summer, you see kids hawking, selling things on the road here in America. So who do we blame? The government has provided everything. For a child to be selling things, can you all hear me?
Yes,
yeah, but the kids that are selling
I'm
things,
wondering why they're working.
Is it their parents that are, the kids are hustling on their own. They are hustling on their own.
Yes, but again, it's still child labor. That's what
but if they're doing it themselves, nobody's sending them. There's no adults.
These kids are underage. They're still under the care of their parents. These kids are minor. Regardless if it is their parents that send them out there to hawk, they're doing it.
So it's an issue in the states as well.
It's not child labor. Kids, you give them money, they make lemonades and everything, or they buy water, they hustle, they go to the nearest bodega, they buy like a case of
excuses for it. It's still child labor.
No. It's not child labor because nobody.
On the street.
Child labor means somebody has to enforce it. Nobody's enforcing. The kids are hustling. Like my son cut his hair. My son is in a boarding school. My son is in a boarding school. He cut his hair in school. I'm like, who cut your hair in school? He said he has a boy who lives in New Jersey. He bobs hair, $10. That's hustling. Nobody is forcing him to do it. So kids do it.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Go ahead.
These kids are on the street selling food. That's what I'm talking about. These kids are on the streets, in the highway, in the major road. Whenever there's a red light, they're all there selling things. So who do we blame? Regardless, they're still underage. They are minors. They're under the care of their parents. So government might provide everything, but again, if the parents does 100% of the job before government. That's my intake in this. Thank you.
So what if the parent, if I'm at work and if I decide to go to the bodega and buy chips and sell on the street, how will I know? I'm at work.
That's the responsibility that you should.
Because that's what these kids are doing. It's summer, school is out. School is out. That it's summer doesn't mean I have to stop jobs to babysit you. You know what I mean? It's summer.
You leave a minor in the house and anything happens
to
that
in the
minor,
Bronx.
the parents,
kids, American kids are hustlers. American kids are hustlers.
A minor, anything happens to the minor in the house, the parent is questioned, answerable to it.
Of course. Like the child that school in Nigeria, it was when the video came out that the mother knew she was doing those things on TikTok. So most times we don't know what our kids are doing. Joyful Praise, go ahead.
I just wanted to say the first.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Hello. And the first thing I want us to look at this: what is a child labor? I'm going to come up the camera shortly. What is a child labor? The dictionary defines a child labor as that word that deprives a child of their childhood, their potential, their dignity, and that is harmful to the physical and the mental development. So the question here is, who is responsible? The parents. But for a parent will decide you want to have a child, the government is not there. The government, yes, the government is responsible for the citizen of every country. For you as a parent, if you decide to have a child, whether you can feel that child or not, you need to consider that. So if you decide to have a child, please, you're not giving the government the responsibility. If you're saying the government is responsible, I have a child. If he has a child, every other person has a child, the government will be responsible for it. What do we want to turn this government to? We want to kill them. The government also has their own family. We need to understand that for a parent to decide to have 7 children, you're responsible. Yes, in developed country, which we have, I'm in London, the government take care of you, but government will still calculate and say, okay, even if you have, I think 4 or 5 years ago, the government actually cap it to say, if you have 3 children, 5 children, now your problem be that.
Of course.
Only 2 became, now we'll go give you money.
Child benefit for, that's true.
So why would we want to blame the government for everything?
So you guys get child benefit too?
Yeah, we get child benefit. Yeah, we do.
To what
Until
age?
that age, 16 or 18?
By 16, they will send you a form to say this child going back to a 6th form or not. If the child is still going back, then they will give you 2 more years. After 18 years, is your
6th form is college, high school?
Yeah, it's kind of before you go into
A-level.
So A-level, so you do 2 years A-level, then you go into university.
College.
So for me here, I feel the parents needs to be educated. We need to carry out a lot of awareness to parents to say, I beg, if you are poor, poverty is not a disease. If you are poor and you are giving birth to children, please carry your responsibility yourself.
And who would do, if I may ask, who would do that education?
A lot of this will have to come from NGOs, it has to come from individual. We cannot leave the government to do all these things alone. Government are human beings that have a lot of responsibility.
So it has to be only
NGOs.
No, so only NGOs should educate, not the government.
No, that's
but
what
the government
are
the one. But the government are the one who are disbursing the benefits.
No,
if you're giving somebody money, you should let them know how to do it. So the government.
Your name is.
When I said the government, I meant awareness. Awareness.
What I'm saying here is the awareness will have to be everybody's responsibility. For me, when you go to Africa, take for example, I believe somebody mentioned this thing. Some of these people, the spirit of entitlement. Some people will decide to be having children because they have this entitlement that, I know Joyful Praise is in London. She will help me take care of this person. She help me take care of this one. She help me take care of this. No, by the time we start creating awareness, even in the villages, to say, look, if you have these children, this is what will happen. This is what will happen. This is what will happen. You need to consider these people. For me, for child labor, when we look at child labor, it's something that is still ongoing, even in this day and age. But now it's like on the ground move they are doing. No matter what they do, people will still want to do things because poverty is one thing that people should understand, that if you have children above your means, for me, no matter how poor I am, I'm not releasing my child for nobody. If it is Gary we want drink, we drink this Gary, go sleep. But people are beginning to become so selfish to themselves to say, some of these people that even send these children to child labor, if you see the way their parents dress, you will like, oh God. So this child is going to labor for you to look good.
And they pay the mother now, they pay the parents money.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They get
the
this
parents
money.
Get paid for that. Yeah, it's not free. The parents get paid for
they
that.
get this money for the children to labor. But my question is, they also need to create an awareness for people that are taking people's children into their own house. If you take a child into your own house, so because if you say have only 2 children or 1 child, you cannot enforce that in Nigeria. You can enforce it.
You can't even enforce it here.
Fantastic, you can do that. But in Nigeria, even people that take children in should be prosecuted. The government should, but I'm not saying the government will not do a thing, but all I'm saying is that the government should not be the main focus. It's the parent, the main focus, and every other person will have to take their own share of the blame. And the people that are taking children in also should be prosecuted. If you know that there is a child that is not your child, and you're not saying
the government is the one who is going to prosecute, because the police, the law enforcement, they are all part of the government. Government
it's happening, actually.
Yes. So you know, I want to ask what I'm saying.
I get it. Whether you like it or not, it's the government. Whether you like it or not, however you run around the country, it's the government. All right, no problem. Let me ask Benson, hold on. Let me ask somebody.
No,
Benson, hold on.
Before I forget what.
I want to ask, hold on. My time is up. I need to ask one more person before you can, Ifeoma. Adibeli, are you there? Adibeli?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Yeah, Adibeli is a social worker in the United States. Can you take this from me? Should the government or parents be blamed for the fallout of child labor due to poverty? As a social worker, can you give us your take before Ifeoma takes over?
Yeah, to be honest, like what Joyful Praise said, in all honesty, you can't, as a social worker, you can't just come out and start blaming parents. I had a case recently where this family have 8 children, and one of the kids, at the age of 16, she doesn't even have a mobile phone, not even a block phone. She doesn't have it. So she started becoming rebellious. She stole money. She had to buy herself a phone worth 270 pounds. So when I was interviewing this girl, she said, "Ma'am, can I ask, if they know they can't afford to look after us, why did they have so many of us?" For days, I couldn't sleep. I could not sleep because that question,
Yeah,
so
of course.
Yeah, it really, I couldn't sleep because I didn't know where to go. She said, "How many do you have, Mom?" I said, it's got nothing to do with you. This is my personal life. I have 4 kids. And she said, "Well, my parents, you can see where we're living. I don't even have things. I don't even have pocket money to buy chicken and chips when I'm coming back from school, So at the end of the day, sometimes I go an extra mile to say to the family, some of them come for housing. They give them a 2-bedroom flat. And in a couple of years, they're having like 8 children, and they'll be going back to the housing for accommodation. And I say to them, the housing are very you know, they're so, they're not
Saturated.
lenient now. They just say to them, we're not giving you anything anymore. You can use your front room as a living room because you went to have more kids. I've seen a housing officer telling people. So like she said, you don't have to blame the government all the time. This is why it's good to introduce this family planning and talk to them. That is why they have health visitors, they have midwives to talk to them. But you cannot come openly like me as a professional telling them you have too many kids. You know, I'll be prosecuted for my job. I'll lose my job.
So who is going to fund the midwives and the health educators talking to them?
Well, there's a way they go for this.
It's the government. Government is an umbrella. You guys hate government. You guys think government is an umbrella. Umbrella.
That's what the government is doing now. When you have
it's the government.
You will not be entitled to child benefits. So anybody who's having 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
Yes, and they force all of them to go back to work because some of them are not working. So the government has made it in a way. Yeah, they've made it in a way. When your last child is 5 years old and he's of school age, you're going back to work. They stop giving them benefits. That's what it is now. So the government has taken responsibility. Yeah.
Bill Clinton did it. Now you see people on welfare. They have to work a minimum, at least they have to have a part-time job.
At
because
16
most
hours,
times they didn't even work. They will stay home and because the government was giving them money. So if the government to make is the
government at the end of the day.
Yes, exactly.
But in our Nigeria, sorry, the government have nothing to do with it. Yeah.
No,
somebody go born 7 pikin. You know, so
you don't even have
in Nigeria is just on, you know, they won't do nothing. But here in a civilized country like the Western world, the government needs to take responsibility and make sure that this doesn't happen.
Nigerian government can put in money into contraceptives. If a woman is coming with her 3rd or 4th child, you know, you advise her to put in contraceptives.
You can force they can have to the same. Why? What if she says she doesn't want it? Will you force her?
No, it's not forced, but that's what I'm saying. Most of them don't even know, and most of them can't even afford it. But if you give it to them, offer it to them, they might take it. You know what I mean? Yeah, for free. Yeah. The government should. If I'm sorry, I think I encroaching your time.
I feel the government should educate these people.
Exactly.
Yes. You do better. So if the government educates them, then
they have the resources
to do their own part.
Exactly.
Okay. If you are married to a man, you've had 4 girls for him, and you're telling him about family planning. Come on, he won't listen to you.
You can still have 6 girls. You can still have 8 girls and no boy. You can still have 8 boys. He will go and marry another woman.
Yeah, there's a comment here from Oche Wearable, from Mommy. She said, stop
calling her mommy, Mrs. Wearable.
More awareness to those who are poor and also unaware of the reasons for the advice.
Thank you, Angie.
To have more than they can cope with.
Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie.
And Angela thinks that it boils down on the government.
Exactly.
Education. It's education and awareness. That's it. Education and awareness.
Yeah, and
do not know.
But when Joyful Praise said it's everybody's responsibility, I agree with that. It's everybody.
But they have to know to do better. If you don't know better, like in Nigeria, that's all they know. Somebody will be sick in Nigeria, they'll be going to the prayer house instead of going to the doctor. It's about awareness. If you don't know, you don't know.
Excuse me, I have a problem.
Some people are ignorant.
I have a problem with what you say about ignorance. You are a mother. You are your husband. You know that your husband, you guys don't have money. You know you don't have money to take care of. Then you get pregnant every year. And you are blaming government that they didn't make you aware. Common sense.
I'm not saying I never said they are blaming government. I said the government should make them aware that what they are doing. No. I'm not saying the government. No, I'm not. I said the government should put in money in awareness and education.
My brother just said, can I add a comment?
No, I'll go on before I go to the next question. Go on then.
Because when you say a man and a woman, they have children every year and they don't even know.
Oh, they don't know better. If they know better, they won't do that.
There are some people in some remote parts of this country, Nigeria, even in your urban centers, they feel children are gifts from God. They don't even know anything about planning.
Yes.
That's all they say. So
that's all they say because they don't know better. That's all they know. God.
Now God, now give us. What do we do?
Exactly.
Just like what I wanted to say when Joy Praise said something. Sometimes if you as a human being goes to someone and say, you should stop having kids, sometimes it boomerangs back on you. Because one, they will first of all say, okay, because you couldn't have more than the 1 or 2 you have, you now want them not to have. So sometimes you might be telling them the right thing, but they see that you are coming to antagonize them or trying to deceive them not to have kids. So it's a two-way thing. In as far as I believe, government should carry out the awareness. Why I
It's
said
not
government,
personal when it comes from the government. It's not personal.
yeah, government should carry out the awareness, because I could remember when we started National Blood Transfusion Service in Nigeria, it was a hell of tax for Nigerians to even donate blood. But because government had the money,
Of
had the
course.
resources to go to the hinterlands,
That's
go
why you
to
pay
villages,
taxes. Yeah.
go to the villages to carry out sensitization, awareness talks, even in churches, everywhere. That's where government will come in, because they have the
That's
money.
it. That's it.
They have the money to
Awareness.
do all those things. But the only thing is that sometimes those things don't, they just make sure they connive with other agencies sometimes and say they've done those things while they didn't do anything.
That's
That's
Nigerian people. They will chop. They'll chop money.
That's why we have
Like
NAPTIP.
Ifeoma has been chopping my money since 10 years.
That's why we have NAPTIP in Nigeria. But what are they doing?
Tying it all together, what you said is, again, for us to have a solution, there should be recognized as a problem.
Exactly.
If it's seen as a problem, and I think I urge everybody here, if you think it's a
Public
problem,
health.
if you've seen or heard something that borders around child labor, then let's start shouting. Let's promote it rather than promoting nonsense that somebody slept with another person's wife, or then Yul Edochie had another child.
2 wives.
Let's talk about serious issues, promote it, and then fight the government to look for solution for it, for that problem. Taking over from IJ smoothly, I'm giving you Fifi's affirmation for today. As always, let's be thankful for today, because in one moment, your entire life could change. And when I say it could change for the worse, it could change for the better. Hit the millions and the life changes. So that takes me to the last question for today, which is, what's your take on child education and orientation in Nigeria, as well as in developed countries? And do schools provide enough protection from abuse? It would have been lovely if we had somebody. Is Fred is the school teacher, OJ? You're on mute.
OJ, you're on mute.
Is Fred?
Sorry, yes, he is the school teacher, but I don't know if he's still.
He is still
I'm
here.
here. I'm here.
Fred, what's your take on child education and orientation in Nigeria? And you could compare it against the developed world countries as well, please.
Where's Fred? Here or?
Fred is here. He's on. Yeah, he can hear me.
In UK? No, I mean, is he in
He's in
Nigeria?
Abuja. Lagos or Abuja somewhere.
Hello, can you please repeat the question? Sorry.
So what's your take on child education and orientation in Nigeria and developed countries? And do schools provide enough protection from abuse?
It depends on the type of school that we are looking to. With my small, I've been in Nigeria for 7 years, and I can say international schools, of course, of which I work with one. Orientation education is really fantastic because it's based on the curriculum that they are using.
Exactly.
But I can't say same for any public school. No,
Yeah.
there's no form of protection for them, and definitely for education. Zero at all.
All right, Fred, as far as you know, from the Ministry of Education, do you think that is part of the agenda, even though it's not been executed? Is it?
It is.
It is.
And one of the things about developing countries or nations is that there is a framework, there is. But because of a lack of resources, it can't be
Executed.
And accountability too.
And then of course, the government also have its own priority. Stuff like abuse, I don't think is on top of the ladder. They have other things that their focus really is. So yeah, that's it. That's my take.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Angela, do you have a view on this? Angie, are you there?
Hello, if we actually are moving up now, what did you say? What did you ask?
What's your take on child education and orientation in Nigeria or in developed countries?
Hello, Ify.
Did you get
She
that
said
question?
I think she said she's moving.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? If it's not convenient for you to speak, we can move on. Yeah? All right.
She said she's moving. Ask
Yeah,
someone.
that's fine, yeah. Go and get you here. Okay.
Oh my God. Sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm
Yeah, what?
actually moving out now.
Okay.
I'm not, I've gone out.
Okay.
Angie, your Wi-Fi is not even clear. So I think you should, you know.
Yeah, she's gone now.
Our Wi-Fi is not strong, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone that wants to add to it can raise their hand. I'll say something about my take on child education and orientation. I did not go to one of the international schools when I was growing up in Nigeria, but the school I went to is a public school. At that time, there was some sort of control.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on today.
So messed up.
Funding, yes. You, Jama, you know what I'm talking about. So even though our school was a public school, not one of the but there was that control and there was that safeguarding.
Sorry, let me just send this to you.
There was that safeguarding as well. Of course, we got it from our disciplinary masters then. So there's a way of monitoring and watching what students did and trying to protect them. So that's my take. Actually, do you want to add something to it?
The question was too long. So
I'll break it down. Let me break it down.
Just tell her the last phrase is better. Yeah.
I like the last one was about safeguarding children. Was it about safeguarding children in schools?
Yeah, the schools provide enough protection from abuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't, because sometimes the school administrators are the perpetrators themselves. So we don't have, they are there to safeguard the children, but who's safeguarding what they are doing? So nobody's checking what they are doing. That's why we're having problems now.
Accountability, yeah.
No, there's not accountability to anybody. So people like, maybe because I've had friends had their children go into homes because they've left home because they've been naughty and they've gone into like a social home. And the social workers have been abusing them. But because they've been stubborn and
anybody have been abusing them.
What happened in UK?
It was they do, you know. So because they're not accountable to people, they need to put checks and balances in schools.
Not be me.
Both for the teachers, the head teachers, the students, everybody. Somebody has to be checking on what somebody's doing at all times.
Yes.
That's just as simple as that, you know, because people, because everybody has a price. So the children want mobile phones. The teacher has the money for the mobile phones and wants sex with young children.
Or that was what happened.
Or drug mules or something like that, you know. And then as far as the head teacher is concerned, everybody's honky-dory, everybody's fine. They're keeping them behind every day and whatever.
Was it a male teacher or a female teacher? Because I know female teachers are.
It happens both. Yeah, both.
Oh yeah, I'll get you the information from BBC.
So they need a lot of checks and balances need to be put in place now. Things are getting out of hand.
Yeah,
they've let things slide a lot. Yeah.
So safeguarding young people and obviously an adults, vulnerable adults, is a big thing in UK. I hope they would implement it in Nigeria. There's adult protective services here. You know, I've met welfare officers. I never knew welfare worked until I knew somebody who was going through marital issues and they got them involved. And they were talking about this custody. So sometimes what we don't know, we think it doesn't exist.
It does, yeah.
And I overheard somebody again, a welfare officer, one of my friends, was talking about how they talk to women and try to help them manage their marriages and all whatnot. So it's now knowing if their concentration is all about marriage. Anyway, anything marriage, children are product of marriages, so it all ties in. In terms of child labor, the way we wanted to talk about it, using children to do certain role, I wouldn't say forcing them, using them, even though we may think, we know it's harsh that a young person has left home at that tender age to go and serve and be paid for that service. Yes, it's horrible to hear. If they're comfortable there and that is improving the economy of the family where they've left, that's a way of the mother or the family using their child as a tool to make money. If they're safe there, nobody speaks about it. But if they're in harm's way, that's when people start screaming. So I think in general, we have to encourage ourselves. If you see or hear anything, talk about it. If you don't talk about it, nobody knows about it. We shouldn't encourage child labor. We shouldn't encourage people being mean to each other. And we should promote birth control for people who believe in it We should promote healthy living, obviously, that we've talked about that earlier. We should talk about our own happiness, and happiness resolves around everything we do, keeping our family together, helping our younger ones. And
can I say, do you remember, do you remember our teachers in primary school taking us to their houses to help clean and do things for them? Isn't that child labor? Do you remember?
Yes, that's something.
We'll go to teachers' house. I don't know if anybody experiences. I did. We will go. Every teacher will have like special 2, 3, 4 kids that they like. They'll take them to their house. They help them do chores. So is it like helping the teacher or child labor?
It's not child labor. It's helping the teacher.
I think you smiled. I think, did you experience that? Did you experience it?
Definitely. So, some of these things that we look now that we see and we hear now, it actually happened when we're growing up. But a lot of these people just kind of look at you as you are helping your parents will even tell you and say you're only helping your teacher, you're being a good child, but
you're not being paid for it.
That is child labor, because we're having to leave school to go and do all those things in child labor, because sometimes you don't want to do it, but you have to do it because you are scared that the teacher will smack you tomorrow morning. So you have to go and do it. So that is part of the child labor. One thing I want to quickly go back to the safeguarding one is this. Looking at it, a lot of schools have, Nigeria, let's say about 90% of Nigerian schools have actually failed, even with the one that have 1 million, 2 million as their school fees. They have really, really failed. Recent cases that we have seen in newspaper, it kind of caused a lot of sleeplessness for me. And I know a lot of people hearing those stories like, what? So one thing I want to go by, I even make a joke with Ify, and I say, Ify, I bet carry your son, come back to London.
I warned her, I said, don't do that.
Let us be seeing this boy face to face ourselves. This one, you put this boy for that side, I beg, I not agree. And I thank God that she actually listened to me when I called her, well, he's back. And I was really happy, because that is one thing that we need to. And one thing I want to say quickly here is, even as much these things are going in school, please, parents, don't be shy to talk to your children about certain things so that they are aware. You need to start grooming. You need to start telling them now. Open up and tell them and say, look, this is it. If an uncle tells you this, if an auntie tells you this, and I tell my children, if they tell you they will kill you, it's a lie. They can't kill you. It's a bully language to make you be afraid not to say what they have done. Once you hear anybody say you will carry your phone, please call me. The person will come, I will bite the person and beat the person, and she will be laughing like, Mom, can you do that? Say, but that is, I'm just letting you create an awareness to say, if anybody uses, or if you tell your mom tomorrow, I will beat you more, is a lie. Say what they say, what they've done to you. And once you start telling your children like this and they go to school, they are more equipped. When they see things, they will know that this is not right. But when you don't tell your children certain things and this thing happened to them, Mommy, Daddy, they will not tell you.
And you have to be accessible to your kids too. Your kids can come to you and say, shut up. You have to be, your kids have to be able to come to you for anything.
Let me just quickly, just one more word. When I went, I was a guest in one platform about a special guest to talk about these things, about communicating with children and then being accessible to your children. And I said to everyone on that platform, you need to create a rapport with your children. There is one of these things that we have in our mind and from our generation. When you call a child, if you expect that child to come. That child will not come, because you have not communicated to that child to understand that when I say if it means that you should come. But when we were growing up, when you say iffy, they will not call you the same time. You will pick rates to come out.
Because you get knocked on your head.
Exactly. So we need to understand that we need to start telling these children, communicate with them, being accessible to them. Let them tell you anything, everything.
Does it mean that children are dumb? That they don't know if you call their name, that they need to come
Excuse me, madam. What I want to tell you, okay.
Thank you, Joyous.
Thank you for this platform. What I want to say to you, if it is one thing we should know, is that when we were growing up, they could say certain things to us, and we will understand. These children, jet age, if you don't say come, it happened to me, and I want to share my own experience briefly. I called my daughter, Rebecca. And I was boiling inside the kitchen. Rebecca, this girl don't answer me. Now this, I come out. Can't you hear my voice? He said, Mommy, you called my name. You didn't say come.
Got you.
Since that day, I learned a bitter lesson to say, you say, Rebecca, could you come, please?
Okay, I go put
that they understand. Okay. But in our own days, please, this is not our own days now. These children are more advanced. So
nice to stay on. Let's round up and close the show. But we're having an overtime. If you have the moment, I hope you're not going on another show.
No.
For your information, Joyful Praise has a talk show on Facebook as well.
Yeah, I've been on her show once.
Never give up.
Thank you.
Never give up series. So thank you everyone for being a part of today's show. And like I said, if you see something, hear something, talk about it.
Say something.
Those in Nigeria and those who are still able to vote for Nigeria election 2023, get your PVC. If you don't get PVC, anybody will give you will be your president, will be your governor, will be your member state. Get your PVC. I am shouting on the roof from the rooftop. And let's cut out child labor. Let's try and support each other where we can. And let's always thank God and be thankful for every day. One more question before I go. You might not get an answer. The question is, assuming you're a parent, Wapa, let me use it for example. Sometimes you have contracts to make t-shirts and all whatnot. And you have minors in the house and they help you put the buttons or put the badges on and you give them £5. Is that child labor? I don't need an answer now. Tell me after the show. Thank you very much and I love you all.